It's Thursday, it's 4 o'clock, and therefore it's time for a new episode of the Base Jumping Diary. As you see, I'm in a hotel room somewhere in between German and Holland. That doesn't matter. Time for the new episode. The episode today is a bit of a hard story, and it really changed a lot for me base jumping wise, this specific situation. But let's just start with the exit point. It was a new exit point for me as well, called the low ultimate. Everyone who knows the jump knows that it's quite intense when you're a new jumper. First things first, you have to rappel 20 meters on the sheer cliff onto the exit point, where you have like a little platform. So you are 700 meters above the ground, and where you have to rappel 20 meters down. That is pretty intense and stressful itself, especially when you're not used to being on ropes and stuff like that, and I wasn't at that point. Once you've reached the exit point, there's not really any turning back. Well, obviously, with some skills you can climb back up and do some stuff, but if you don't have skills like that, it's pretty nasty place to be. So yeah, once you've done the rappel, you've kind of already committed to the jump. And once you then jump, you have to, it's positive, so you have to have a good push and clear everything. It's not that bad, but you have to have a good solid push in order to make it. After that, you have a lot of room and you can do a nice little track, and it's one of the highest jumps in the valley of the regular jumps. Yeah. But first things first, let's have a look at the rappel thing. When you see the video now, you will notice me in the very first clip shouting something to some other guys. They'll be in the video later as well. While I'm shouting at those guys. They are jumping the high ultimate, which is just above the low ultimate, but obviously those 20 meters higher. You have to have an even harder push, because that's even more positive. So you have more cliff to clear for the first 4 seconds, while the low ultimate is only like 2 seconds. But yeah, I'm shouting something to them so that they can jump, and we can start the rappel down, and afterwards we would like to jump. So as you notice here, you can already see it's very windy, and you can even hear the wind as well. It should not be that windy at an exit point. We didn't give it a thought though, because we were already really stressed out. Yeah, you saw Philip just went there. Christoph had already gone first. My turn to get down there. Pretty windy and pretty stressful. Okay, so first part done, reached the little plateau there. That was fucking intense, but now we're there. Now we can walk into a little cave that is there and just chill out for a bit. And this was actually where things really got weird and turned bad and freaked all of us out very badly. So the thing is that when we were sitting there and chilling for a second, just catching our breath and relaxing a bit, feeling the jump, Christoph, who is local here in Lauterbrunnen, kind of noticed a lot of wind in the valley as well. And like I just said previously in this video, that it was way too much wind on the exit, and he noticed it as well. Like he thought that was weird. So we called the air glaciers, the helicopter service in the valley, and asked them, hey, what's up with the winds, what's happening? And the only thing they answered is, we don't have time for that now. We've just had a death in Stechelberg, which is where we are supposed to land, where we are supposed to jump now. So we can't handle you guys now. And that was all they said. And we were like, fuck. Okay, we're sitting here now. Somebody has obviously just died, and now we come back to the very start of this video where I shout something to the other guys jumping from the high ultimate, because obviously they're the only guys who just jumped, so it can only be them. So yeah, we were just sitting there. Okay, it was one of those three guys. I won't mention any names, but apparently one of them just went in. So that was fucking freaky. We were on a brand new jump. It's scary, and one of our friends just went in. So we were all like really silent and didn't feel too well. And it was like, fuck. Okay, we just have to wait this out now and just jump, open high, fly home, and see what's going on and who the person was. So yeah, that's where we are now, and we are sitting here for almost an hour, just sitting there waiting, and yeah, not feeling very well. But finally, we called the air glaciers several times, and we could see the winds were gone. We called the air glaciers, and they said we could jump again. It was free, so it was time to jump. You can clearly hear on my voice here when I'm asking Christoph about the jump once again that I'm just kind of shuddering and shivering as I was really scared and not feeling good. You can hear it very clearly right here.
Okay. Wo sind die Leitungen? Okay. Sehen uns.
So yeah, as you saw, jump went fine, opened high, not a super good opening, didn't matter, we just had to go down. We went straight to some of the other guys who were standing there and asked who it was, and they were wondering a bit because we were reacting like someone had just died, and they was like, no one's dead at the moment. Two of the guys were hurt a bit because they were the winds were so strong when they opened, they were just dragged on the canopy along the field and until they hit something, and that kind of stopped them, so nothing really happened there. They were just dragged. But the third guy kind of was dragged onto the canopy as well, but lifted up as well, so he kind of slammed into several roofs and ended up hitting the gondola, the gondola station where his canopy wrapped around, and some the antenna stuff, and then he fell the last 8 meters onto concrete. So he was hurt very, very badly, but he survived. He was flown to Brno to the hospital and everything, and I still speak to him every now and then. Only a few years ago I met him again, and he still has pain after this, and it was a hard fight for him to get back, but luckily he didn't die, so that was good. But yeah, that was it from this week. That was a really fucking intense jump, and one I'm never gonna forget, you know. Being stuck on a new exit, which is also the most hard exit you've ever jumped. Being told that one of your friends just died, you don't know who, and then being forced to jump as well. That was way too much emotion. I remember calling my girlfriend that just right after as well to and I just couldn't tell her what happened. I just cried. You know, it was. I have a hard time crying, or at least I did at that point. I've become more soft ever since, but I just remember I couldn't tell her what happened. I just cried, and she was wondering as well. But yeah, that was a tough day. Yeah, that was really tough. But yeah, luckily no one died, and that's the most important thing. So yeah, thanks for watching. Next week I hope I can have a more happy story. I know I will, because I've already prepared it. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.